You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Happy New Year to everybody in my KLRN radio family. This is Joey Wensler, a.k.a. The Wens. I am so excited about 2017 and all the opportunities and fun to be had. Without further ado, welcome to Wens World.
This is Wens World, and it's Weird Science Time.
Yes, indeed, it is Weird Science Time. And you know, of course, we bring the experts from our friends at Reasons to Believe, found online at reasons.org. This time with Dr. Jeff Zweerink. Dr. Zweerink, how are you?
Doing well, Joey. How about yourself?
Doing great. In case you were wondering about Dr. Zweerink's street cred, he earned a PhD in astrophysics from Iowa State University. He's also an author of a few books, including Who's Afraid of the Multiverse, and he co-authored the Impact Event series and holds a part-time research faculty position at UCLA out there in Cali. So this came across the wire not too long ago. One of the things that I found in my stocking year after year during Christmas time, Silly Putty, is actually finding itself in the medical arena. Dr. Zweerink, how is this being used, utilized, and applied in modern-day medicine?
Well, it's funny because you got this Silly Putty, which was actually kind of a mistake in terms of finding things. You know, people were looking for new kinds of rubbery compounds to work with, and so they were mixing various chemicals to see how it would come out. And they found this one that would bounce if you threw it on the ground, but if you set it there, it would just kind of ooze and run. Mm-hmm. And so it had these kind of cool mechanical properties, if you will, and they sat around and tried to come up with some stuff, and for a long time didn't, and outside of just making a toy. But what the kind of the cool thing that has gone on here is that there's another compound that people have worked with. It's called graphene, and without going into all the details, it's basically a single layer of carbon atoms that are all connected to one another. And it's a very strong, very lightweight substance. But the cool thing is that it conducts electricity very, very well. And so effectively what they did was they mixed the Silly Putty with this graphene, and now you've got this malleable compound that is very sensitive to pressures, temperatures, deformation. And so you've got this incredibly sensitive compound that has the electrical properties of the graphene, but the mechanical properties of the Silly Putty.
So it sounds like a good idea, but what exactly are they going to use it for?
I was sitting there. I knew that question was coming, and I'm sitting there running through my head, okay, what could you actually use this for?
Right.
It's such a unique substance, or such a bizarre substance, that it's kind of difficult to think up what the uses might be. But I know some of the things that it could do. You could imagine, what you can do with this is mix the graphene in with the Silly Putty type substance and spread it out, and it is sensitive enough that it can detect a spider stepping on it.
Wow, I hate spiders, so that's actually a really practical thing.
No, so you could imagine just encasing your house in this so that you knew that every time a spider stepped, you knew where it was. No, I'm joking there. You wouldn't do that. But kind of putting it in the context of some other things where things are so much easier. I think of how we used to take temperature. It used to be you take temperature, you take your thermometer, you stick it in your mouth and sit there for a minute, can't talk, can't drink, can't eat, can't do anything.
Right.
Well, then after a while, somebody came up and said, hey, we've got another way of doing this that is much simpler and much more effective. And what you can do is if you can detect the infrared radiation that's coming out, you can put something in your ear and get a temperature reading, boom, just like that.
Yeah.
And so now when we think about taking temperature, it's like, well, okay, you just do that. That's kind of do it very quickly and you're done. And they've even come up with other ways where you can just rub something along your temple. So it takes this thing that was very difficult to do and makes it very easy. And so I could imagine you've got things like earthquake monitoring or even just safety protocols where you want to sense things that are around. You've got this very remarkable mechanical properties of the Silly Putty or other plastics you could even put it in. But then you also have the electrical properties of the graphene, and so you can make these very sensitive detectors that would allow you to, again, detect ground movement. You could, things that they did with it is you take a little bit of this Silly Putty and put it on somebody's carotid artery. You can not only measure pulse rate, but you can also measure blood pressure with it.
Wow. And this is a relatively inexpensive technology, right? Because Silly Putty is, what, $1.50 in the clearance rack at your local super grocer. But how expensive is this unique carbon-based material graphene?
That's actually where the expense comes in right now, is that it's relatively difficult to manufacture, and it's difficult to manufacture with high quality. And so that's where a lot of the cost comes in, is manufacturing the graphene. But in the last few years, they've done research into figuring out how to make the graphene, and instead of having to use a lot of caustic substances and have a lot of chemical waste and make it real expensive, they've basically been able to make it a lot cheaper, more reliably, and with a lot less waste. And so it's becoming more available to be used. And so I think a lot of the availability out there, now you're going to have people thinking, hey, I've got this relatively cheap substance with very good chemical and electrical properties. How can I use that? And so I expect we're going to see lots of things like that, lots of technology come out of it in the future.
That's so awesome. And in case you're just joining us, we are with astrophysicist Dr. Jeff Zweerink of Reasons to Believe. You can connect with him on Twitter at RTB_JZWEERINK. And we're talking about this new technology that combines our childhood toy Silly Putty with a carbon-based material called graphene. Now, Jeff, I want to ask, because we've all seen what the wonders that duct tape can do. You know, some of the things that we played with maybe in our childhood. What are some other childhood toys do you see that could be applied in the medical arena for our benefit and humanity's as well?
Oh, good grief. That's a good question. What I'll answer a little bit of a different question there is how many of those toys and things like that come up just kind of by accident and serendipity.
Sure.
And we talked about Silly Putty. That was just somebody looking for a particular kind of rubber there. One of them, we use almost all the time are Post-it notes. That little adhesive you got on the back there. Again, somebody was just working in the lab trying to figure out a good adhesive, found this one that really didn't stick to anything. But somebody else came along and said, hey, that'd be great for putting on a piece of paper so you can just move it around. And, it's what I find remarkable is how one man's junk is another man's treasure there, that somebody was looking, this isn't what I wanted, but somebody else would say, that's exactly the properties I need for the job that I have. And so I just see a lot of stuff like that. And personally, for me, this has a little bit of interest because when I was in high school, I was actually working on a science fair project where I was looking to make conductive polymers like this. So the polymer is the rubber, but one that conducts electricity. And so the fact that you're able to take this very cool polymer of silly putty and make it very highly conductive, putting the graphene in it, really is pretty cool for me. It's kind of seeing 30 years of research kind of come about and be useful there.
I guess that just turns every mistake into an opportunity.
It may not do what you want to do, but chances are somebody else will figure out how to use it. There's a lot of neat technological advances that happen that way.
Always with the keen insight. Our friends at Reasons to Believe. Connect with them on their website, reasons.org. There you can find what they do out there in California, as well as a whole lot of cool resources and merch along the way. Dr. Zweerink, always a pleasure to have you in Wynn's World. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me here, Joey. It's been fun.
Hey guys, it's Lacey with Westside Yoga. You have resolutions and we want to help you meet those goals. Learn more online at westsideyoga.net or Instagram at Westside Yoga. I'm in Wynn's World and I love it.
Hey, this is the Deej, the sales energizer. And like you, I'm in Wynn's World. It's a frightening place, but we're here. This is what I want you to do. Listen to the show, the whole show. And then when you're done, go to my website, remedysalesmatch.com. Fill out the subscription form for the newsletter, and I will send you a free book that's going to change your life, The Hitchhiker's Guide to Guaranteed Success. Do it after the show.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Week 17 Pick'em Time, featuring at Radio Griff and the Wens, right here in Wynn's World. Week 17, here we are at Radio Griff, and yours truly, almost neck and neck. I had a hell of a week 16, went 11-5. To at Radio Griff on Twitter's 8-8. Welcome back to Wynn's World, Radio Griff, live from the Griff compound.
Yeah, I'm at the compound north of Atlanta, Georgia. It's great to be in Wynn's World as always, man. I'm pumped.
And here we are. We find ourselves really close. I'm 139 and 103 to your 137 and 105. And it comes...
Holy smoke.
Yeah, it's coming down to the final week of the regular season. This is going to be very interesting. Let's start with the first Sunday game, because there's no Thursday night matchup. I'm very sad about that. Now I'll have to watch bowling. Ravens on the road taking on the Bengals. No playoff implications in this matchup.
Yeah, there's lots of games like this week where it really doesn't matter. And I've heard some chatter this week about Marvin Lewis saying he's going to return. Then there's some rumor, the Bengals coach. And there's some rumors that he might retire. There's all kinds of weird things going on. I think there's some disarray going on with the Bengals. And I know the Ravens are out of it, but I think they're the better football team. And rumors that John Harbaugh, the Ravens coach, still might be fighting for his job a little bit. They might be over him there.
Wow.
So I like the Ravens in this game.
Yeah, I initially was going to circle Baltimore, but I'm going to go with Cincy, and I think their players are going to play a whole lot for Lewis. I think you're dead on with that. There's been statements out in the media that he's planning on returning. I'm not sure if the management feels the same way, but I guess we'll find out there.
Right.
Advantage, the Wens. Houston taking on the Titans, and this is the game last week that we were both licking our chops to watch. What say you at Radio Griff?
I know. Then it all ended with old Mark Mariota, man, breaking his leg. I felt so bad for the Titans. I really wanted this game to mean something, but, Titans are out of it now. Texans, AFC South champs once again, and they're once again going to play in a terrible wild card weekend game and probably get their butts kicked. And the most unfortunate thing is the Texans, because they won the division, they get to host the playoff game in Houston. And there's a good chance like the Chiefs or maybe even the Dolphins, a team with a better record, could come to Houston and have to play there just because Houston won the division. I think that should be looked into. That's kind of weird. But I think with Mariota's leg, I think there went all of the Titans' hope, and I think they're kind of checked out now. Really nothing to play for at this point. And I think the Texans are going to go in there. I still do think the Texans kind of want to prove that, they kind of belong in the playoffs.
Right.
So I think they're going to go to Nashville and take care of the Titans.
I disagree. I think Tennessee wins at home. Matt Castle's going to step in for Mariota, probably throw a pick.
How old is that man?
Let's see. He's a 12-year vet. God only knows. So let's say he started at 20. Let's call him 32. Why not?
You're being generous.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think the Titans win at home there. And they, you know what? Even if they do not make the playoffs, I think it's important that they go 9-7 this year. After all the early success with Mariota, like you said, but also that double-headed running back situation with Henry and DeMarco Murray, I think it would be really important for them to win out at home.
Advantage the wins.
Panthers on the road taking on division rival Tampa Bay.
Yeah, here's the thing with Tampa. They can still make the playoffs. Now, they have to win, and then, 4 other things have to happen. Right. Including one of those things is the Niners have to beat the Seahawks. Somehow that comes into play. So, another game has to finish in a tie. It has to be a tie. Crazy scenario, but the Bucs are still alive if they win. However, I think Cam Newton is going to go down to Tampa, and he's going to take care of Jameis, and the Panthers are going to win this game.
I totally agree. You know what? It's so funny you say that. And I think in addition to the 4 games, I think 2 more celebrities have to die before the year's end for the Bucs to make the playoffs.
It's too real.
For sure. Cam wins out. I think it's important for the morale of that Carolina team and for the stability of Coach Ron Rivera. I know there's no rumors, but let that start here in Wens World. He might be sitting on a hot seat.
Believe it or not, I did hear a rumor that the Los Angeles Rams might be interested in him. And the only basis for the rumor is that he has Hispanic heritage and that there's a big Hispanic, population in Southern California.
Sure.
And that might be a good fit. That was someone's speculation. So they could potentially make a trade for him, which isn't unheard of in the NFL, trading for coaches. It's happened.
Yep.
So you never know. Could happen.
You do never know.
Both are wrong.
One thing that we learned last week was that Cleveland is not as bad as we thought. They got their first win, and I called it. And this week they're playing in the Steel City, taking on the Stellars.
Yeah, hopefully they enjoyed that win because that's going to be their only one this year. The Steelers, they really don't have much to play for. According to everything I see, they're locked into the number 3 seed no matter what happens this week. So, but I still think they're by far the superior football team. Steelers will beat the Browns.
Yeah, enough said about that for sure.
Both are correct.
Cowboys still starting Prescott and Elliott, reportedly, Week 17, against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Your poor Eagles, man. We talk about this every few weeks here. Remember, after 4 or 5 weeks, Eagles and Vikings, the top 2 NFC teams, man.
Man.
It's kind of sad. Yeah, Cowboys, now there are rumors that Mark Sanchez will be the backup instead of Tony Romo this week because they don't want to risk Romo getting hurt or something. Crazy stuff. I'm not sure what's going on there. But I kind of do think they're making the best decision in starting Dak and Zeke. It's working out. Just let it keep rolling along. They're going to go to Philly. They're going to take care of the Eagles.
Sure, and I get what you're saying about starting the starters. After all, they've secured that first-round bye, so having 2 weeks off might be detrimental to the flow of things out there in Dallas. But I got to take the Eagles at home here. I think that it's going to be a mistake on some level for them to play their starters. According to the Eagles' defense, man, they've been known to take a quarterback out or two, especially Jordan Hicks, man. I have a feeling he's going to get a couple good shots on Zeke and Dak. We'll have to find out, but I take the Eagles at home for sure.
Advantage the wins.
Buffalo with the fired Rex Ryan taking on the Jets.
Yeah, I think the Bills, man, after getting rid of Rex Ryan, I believe Anthony Lynn is the interim coach. I think they have a better roster than the Jets, and I think they're going to, be fired up playing for an interim coach, I guess, and I think they're going to go take care of the Jets. I like the Bills.
It's so funny. There was a video that Rex Ryan had to drive away in a giant Bills truck after they fired him. I'm going to Macon. I'm getting a paint job that very day. For sure, man. I don't see a reason why the Jets even come out to play. I think they just hang out in the locker room and just grab some fans from the stands, let them play. I mean, they'd probably do better anyway.
Why not?
Yeah, for sure. I take Buffalo on the road there. Both are wrong. Chi-Town, the Bears taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, what a stinker of a game, man. In this game, I take the Vikings, I guess. I really have no basis for that, other than they're kind of the home team throughout the year. If you look at the whole season, they definitely were the better team than the Bears. Even though Matt Barkley hasn't looked bad lately, I'll take the Vikings.
I'm going to take the Bears on the road. I know that Barkley had 5 interceptions last week. How does that even happen? I mean, how do you throw 5 interceptions in 4 quarters? That makes no sense at all. He did have 2 touchdowns to boot, so got to give him that. But I'll take Chicago on the road. Why not? Minnesota's stinking it up, and the worse they do, the better off for the Eagles come 2017 draft day.
And there's been some stuff about the Vikings not respecting Mike Zimmer, maybe, not listening to his coaching plans and stuff like that. So maybe there is some discord going on up there. So, yeah, Bears might not be a bad choice.
Yeah, mutiny, I say. Mutiny. Advantage Griffin. Jacksonville on the road taking on the Colts.
Jacksonville week 2 with their interim coach, right? Doug Marrone.
Indeed.
But I like the Colts in this game, man. I think the Colts are the better football team. Poor Andrew Luck, his career is getting wasted up there. Hopefully they figure out what's going on. They get a new GM or new coach or definitely a new offensive line for the poor guy. I mean, he could be one of the better quarterbacks of our time, and it's just getting wasted. But I do like the Colts in this game.
It's funny. I feel bad saying that they should go in a different direction than Pagano, considering he's beaten cancer. Like, you always want to cheer for people like that, but business is business, and I think you're right. I think they have to make a switch on the sideline there. But this is the Wednesday's upset special of the week. I am taking the Jacksonville Jaguars, not the vehicle, but the football team, to take out the young Colt team. And last week we saw what that Colts defense can do. Took out Derek Carr, that being Trent Cole, wrapping up Carr and ending the season for the star Oakland quarterback. Ugh, that's a tough thing for them. But yeah, for sure, I'm taking the upset Jags on the road. Advantage Griffin. The flawless, and let's just call them that, forget New England, the new town they play out of, flawless Patriots taking on the Miami 74-degree Dolphins.
All right, you just had your upset pick.
Oh!
I'm going to have my upset pick now.
Whoa!
Now, I know they're both playoff teams, but I like the Dolphins in this game. Patriots, I think this is a game they kind of lay down. They kind of don't give it their all necessarily.
Sure.
Because they could face the Dolphins in the playoffs.
Sure.
It's a real possibility of that happening. So, I think the Dolphins are going to win this game. I think, they're hungrier for it. It's in Miami. Belichick's not, going to go with, you're just going to run the ball, a few passes here and there. Not going to, unleash the full playbook this week against the Dolphins. And he's going to rest a lot of guys, too. So I like the Dolphins.
I'm really surprised you picked them. I also circled Miami. I think they have a whole lot more to play for seeding-wise. And like you said, why would Belichick, with the possible fate of playing Miami in the playoffs, put it all on the line there? The one thing I will say that, New England is not going to be easy street in the playoffs without Gronkowski, because he adds just a whole nother level of dynamic to that offense. But we're going to have to wait and see how that pans out. But I take Miami at home as well. I'm really shocked you picked them. Both are wrong. Chiefs at Chargers.
All right, this is an easy one. Chargers lost to the Browns, right? So therefore, I don't. They can't beat anyone else from this point forward. Thankfully, there's only 1 week left. Chiefs, good football team. I like the Chiefs in this game.
I can see that. I can see that 2 ways, right? So the Browns beat you, so you're that bad, or the Browns beat you, so you're so ticked off that you're going to beat anybody you play the week to follow. But I'm going to go with your gut on that. I'm going to go with the Chiefs on the road here. I think they need to maintain momentum going into the postseason. And I think they're going to go very far. I really do. Let me put this on the line right here. I know I've been wrong about 10 other things this year or more, but I'm going to pick the Chiefs to represent the American Football Conference in Super Bowl 51. That's the Wins' pick here. And
oh, man. That's going to be a boring Super Bowl.
It will be, and just wait till you hear who they're going to play according to the Wins, and that game is down the line here.
Both are correct.
Arizona taking on the Los Angeles, I got it right for once, Rams.
Yeah, I mean, who cares? This is another one of those games that just is like, there's nothing sexy about this matchup whatsoever.
Right.
I guess maybe see what Jared Goff can do. I don't know. You know what? Yeah, I'll take the Rams in this game. I think they're going to, it's their last game. Maybe Goff will throw for a touchdown or two, throw 4 interceptions. I'll take the Rams. Why not?
I circled the Rams also, and I want to go on the record and say that I don't think Goff is as bad as everybody thinks he is. For the love of God, the guy only got like 4 starts this whole year. I mean, they sit on him on the sideline. Let's wait. That's the bad coaching of Jeff Fisher. And I'm so glad that he's gone because that franchise actually has a chance now to probably win 8 games next year. We'll see. I think the Rams are going to be a lot better next year, and it begins this year with a win to finalize 2016 against Arizona.
Both are wrong.
The Carless Raiders walking, I guess, to Denver to play the Broncos.
Yeah. Poor Raiders, man. I really thought they had a shot at it.
Yep.
Dang, that really stunk last week. This is a tough game for me to pick. I know the Broncos are out of it, but I don't know what that Raiders. I've read a lot of things saying Matt McGloin. I believe that's the backup's name. They feel very confident he can step in and just kind of do the same thing Derek Carr did for the most part. But then again, I don't know if the Broncos can score points. I just don't think they can score any points. So I'll take the Raiders. Just because their offense is a little more potent than the Broncos.
I'm going to take the Broncos at home. I think that they're probably going to win the last game of the year. Looking at this interesting standing in the AFC West. Now, if Oakland loses, they'll be 12-4. And if Kansas City wins, they'll be 12-4. And I'm looking at the division wins. Kansas City is flawless in their division. They're 5-0. So this Kansas City can conceivably still win the AFC West with a Raider loss. That's going to be crazy. I'm just feeling it in my spine. I feel a tingle, and that tingle is making me feel the Broncos win at home this week.
Advantage the Wins.
Giants taking on the Redskins, and some very interesting implications. And I want to throw this out before you make your prediction because this could alter at Radio Griff on Twitter's pick. Now, if this game ends in a tie, both teams make the playoffs.
What I read is that, the Redskins have to win.
Sure.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Now, if the Lions-Packers ends in a tie, they both make the playoffs. If Redskins lose, they're out no matter what.
Sure. So what you're saying is the Lions-Packers game, if they both tie, they're in the playoffs. Is that what you're saying?
Right, yeah. No matter what happens in the Giants-Redskins.
Now, I heard the same thing, but about the Giants-Redskins game, and I am not good with numbers. I'm a comm major, so I didn't even attempt to do it myself. But I will say, if this game does end in a tie and both New York and Washington make the playoffs, I can't believe that 3 NFC East teams will be involved in the 2016 postseason. That will be crazy.
Well, yeah, no matter what happens, there's a good likelihood of 3 making it. I think Redskins, this is going to be a tough game, but they have beaten the Giants once this year already in New York. And, this game's in Washington. Kirk Cousins, man, he's fired up, playing for the playoffs, and also trying to get that big contract. He doesn't want to be franchised again. He wants a real deal contract, maybe worth $30 million a year. Who knows? So I think the Redskins are going to pull this game out, and then if that happens, and then assuming Packers and Lions don't tie, the loser of that game is out of it. That's a do-or-die game then for the Packers and Lions.
Yeah.
So I like the Redskins to win this game to, make the playoffs. I think that's going to happen.
Oh, for sure, man. I take Washington at home. And you're right. If he wins this game, he's going to get that contract. He might even be able to pay off his student loans from Strayer University. For sure, man. The Giants are already a lock. Like, why would you even... you've already secured a playoff spot. Why, risk injury? They've clinched a wild card at this point. So they're in. And for sure, I think Washington's going to actually smoke the Giants this week. I'm going to call a 15-point victory there.
Both are wrong.
Seahawks taking on your Wine 'em, Dine 'em, 49 'em.
Oh, man, thank goodness this is the last week of the season. Finally, some change can happen, I hope. I mean, I don't know what the 49ers are going to do in the offseason. I don't know if Chip Kelly's going to be another one and done or a new GM. Maybe they can sell the team. It's not a good thing. And I may have done it once before this season, but I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to pick against the Niners. My 49ers, I'm going to have to pick against them, unfortunately, because I don't think they stand any chance. Even though they won last week, they beat the Rams, but I don't think they stand any chance against the playoff-bound Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seahawks roll easily in this game.
Oh, for sure. And I am interested to see what the 49er management... Do you know who the GM is over there?
Trent Baalke.
Okay, whether he keeps Chip Kelly for a second year. I mean, he started out the season pretty good. He started out 1-0, and then since then, it's just been kind of downhill. I don't think he's back next year. I don't think you can bring him back next year. This team...
Well, the thing is, if Chip's not back, that means the GM's not back, from what I understand, most likely. So they'll probably get rid of the GM, and then most likely a new GM is going to want his own coach.
Right.
So, I don't know. Then you get, Kyle Shanahan. That doesn't really do it for me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a good time to be a 49er. Just a few years ago, we had Jim Harbaugh. It's so depressing.
Yeah, man. Now he's playing at the big house doing big things for Michigan. You know, it's funny that you talk about the GM-coach relationship, or they could do what they did in Philly, which is give Chip all the power, and he can completely destroy the team like he did in Philly. We'll have to see. But for sure, I got to take Seattle on the road here.
Both are correct.
Nolan Saints travel into Georgia to take on their Falcons.
Oh, man, I think the Saints are, they have no shot at the playoffs, but I definitely think they would enjoy playing spoiler this week, especially against rival Atlanta Falcons. I think it just might happen. I think Drew Brees is going to come into the Georgia Dome and throw for 600 yards and 12 touchdowns. And, and if that happens, there's a good chance Falcons, they won't be the 2 seed. They could have to play next week. They would host the game because they won the division. Yeah, I think the Saints are going to come into Atlanta and win.
Yeah, me too. Breeze is making like some absurd $30 million this year. Can you imagine swimming in that money like Scrooge McDuck? Jumping into a vault of Drew Brees' bankroll. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, but for sure, I don't see any reason why the Falcons even play their starters. They're already locked in at 10-5 right now. They've clinched the division. Nothing to play for. New Orleans goes 8-8 on the year for sure.
Both are wrong.
And last but not least, my NFC representative for the Super Bowl 51 is in this matchup as Green Bay takes on Detroit. What say you at Radio Griff?
Oh, wow. Will your team be the Packers or the Lions?
Oh, we'll have to wait and see, but I want to see what you say.
If you're giving me a Lions-Chiefs Super Bowl, count me out, man. Holy smokes. I think the Packers are going to go up to Detroit, and I think they're going to win this game. Aaron Rodgers called it back when they were 4-6 or something ridiculous.
Yep.
And said, we have to win out. It looks like they just might do that. And can you imagine if they win out from there, and then obviously if they're going to win the Super Bowl, they have to keep winning. How many wins in a row that would be? And he called it way back then. He told everyone to relax again, and he came through in the clutch. The Packers look dangerous, man. Jordy and Devontae, clicking finally. You got Ty Montgomery running the ball, number 80-something running back. It's crazy to watch. I like the Packers in this game.
For sure. Green Bay shall represent the National Football Conference in Super Bowl 51. That's the Wens' pick there. For sure. I think they have to win 10 in a row. They've won 5 in a row now to be where they are, and I think they win on the road, take this NFC North.
Both are correct.
And there you have it. Week 17, I find myself only 2 games ahead of at Radio Griff on Twitter with 139 wins to his 137. But we shall see how this plays out, and we'll be back next week for our wild card Wens World NFL picks, and we're going to have to see how all that pans out, and we shall continue to roll on with this. At Radio Griff, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining me live from the at Radio Griff compound, OTP Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Always great.
Break.
Oh, yes. The Wens here is firmly ahead in the driver's seat. Ahead by 4 games to be exact. I went 8-8 in Week 17 to at Radio Griff 6-10. Thus, the final regular season standings, 147-111 to 143-114. However, as we all know, the playoffs begin this weekend, and the count will continue. until Super Bowl Sunday. Let's hope I can continue my success here during the playoffs. We'll be back next week with the wild card round results and the new count. Hope you enjoyed.
Hey y'all, it's Amber from Westside Yoga on Hell Mill Road. It's a new year and you've got a new opportunity to get healthy. Join us on the mat. We have 35 classes a week. All classes are 60 minutes and beginners are always welcome. Come get healthy with us at Westside Yoga.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
Hey, this is Michael Loftus from the LoftusParty.com, and I'm here on Wens World. Every day is Wednesday in Wens World.
I love it! What's going on, KLRN radio family? This is the Wens here, and we just got done doing our NFL Week 17 segment with @Radio Griff. Follow him on Twitter. But here it is. Wild Card Weekend is upon us. We're only a few days away. And I have some predictions of my own, apart from anybody else in studio, that I wanted to discuss with you privately. So here we go. If you're a betting man or woman, bet $5 because you're going to win that money back handsomely. Here we go. Wild Card Weekend, Saturday. Oakland Raiders on the road taking on the Houston Texans. Now, a lot of people are taking the Raiders, but what a lot of people don't realize here is the catalyst for the Raiders' success is Derek Carr. Derek Carr is out for the rest of the year with a bum leg. And I know Houston doesn't exactly have a true quarterback. They paid Brock Osweiler $70 million over the next 4 years. He's hardly delivered on a fraction of that performance-wise this year. He actually got pulled, but because Tom Savage is in concussion protocol, Brock Osweiler, the $70 million man, will make the start for the Houston Texans this Saturday. I believe the Texans win at home by 10 points. I think it's going to come down to some key defensive plays, maybe a last-minute interception by Brian Cushing there at linebacker to upset somewhat in a lot of people's minds the Oakland Raiders. Moving on down the line, the NFC matchup on Saturday boasts the Detroit Lions on the road taking on the Seahawks. Now, a lot of people would just say take the Seahawks here no matter what because they're playing at home. But not so fast, my friend. Zeke Ansah is going to make life for Russell Wilson very difficult. He's going to be wishing Ciara was on the sideline to kiss his boo-boos because he's going to be kissing a lot of turf come Saturday night. I still do believe that the Seahawks have enough in the tank with the 12th man there in Seattle to win this game, but by a last-second field goal in the fourth quarter. I'm going to call a final score of 20-17. Detroit just hasn't shown me enough for me to pick them. Look, Week 16, they had a shot against Dallas to win and better their seeding in this NFC wildcard picture. Then Week 17, they have a home game against Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers just picks them apart. Stafford just a lot of missed throws, missed opportunities to take the NFC North. That was a winner take the NFC North game, and they just couldn't come through in the clutch. So that's why I'm taking Seattle at home. Taking a look at Sunday's wildcard games. The first one is the Miami Dolphins taking on the Steelers. This one has a 1:05 kickoff there. A lot of people are taking the Steelers, but I'm not. I'm taking the Dolphins in this upset special here. Steelers, very, very good team. 11-5 overall versus a 10-6 traveling Dolphin team who doesn't play exactly perfect on the road. But I'm taking the Dolphins for two reasons. One, because of Jay Ajayi. The running back stud had over 200 yards when these teams met in mid-October. Now, between that and that Dolphins defense, I don't think that Ben Roethlisberger has any idea the kind of fervor and passion that Miami's going to come into town with on Sunday. I'd take the Dolphins by 6 here. 23-17 is the Wens' final score there. Then, of course, the final game this coming Sunday, 4:40 kickoff, as the New York/New Jersey Giants travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers. I believe that Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league. And I know a lot of you believe it's either Tom Brady or Dak Prescott. That's fine. You have a right to be wrong. Let me tell you what. Aaron Rodgers hasn't lost a step. If anything, this guy betters with time. He's like a good bottle of red. Keep him in the cellar, and he ferments and just gets better and better and better and better as the minutes progress. And he's going to absolutely take that Giants secondary and pick it apart. Giants defense, the catalyst for their own success. But when you play a team like the Packers with a red-hot Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, when he says, relax, we're going to win out, he follows through on his promises. It's ridiculous how good this guy can be when he turns it on. I take the Packers at home handily, 30-10. Yeah, 20-point swing there. So those are my picks. And if any of you are listening that know people, there's 6 degrees of separation because we all know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody at, let's say, ESPN or the NFL channel. When these picks come to fruition, don't hesitate to reach out to me, direct message me. I am available. Thanks for listening.
Yo, monkey, it's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, the king of Bada Bing, the master of the diamond cutter, the three-time world champion and CEO and founder of DDP Yoga. And you, monkey, you're listening to When's World. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Bang!
Ladies and gentlemen...
This is your male soap opera moment.
Este es el momento con la telenovela masculina con el productor Joey y Shamsu.
Yes, indeed! It is time for the male soap opera moment with the one, the only, at Rags to Riches, at Shamso84 with a no Z, sub an S in front of the O.
Yes, it's been a long time.
Of course, the Belle of Life has joined us live in studio. This time around, I want to go very general because 2017 begins tomorrow, and that's when the show will air, the day prior to such date there.
I was going to say you're a little bit off.
I'm a little off. So we're actually recording this for all
radio.
For all you number crunchers out there. This is actually Friday when we're recording this.
Yes.
And but right now, 2017 right around the corner, and we want to talk about if we were in control of the WWE in 2017, the things that we would like to see. And so I wanted to start off right now with the number one wrestling fan in all of Buckhead.
All of Atlanta.
Shamso. All of the ATL. Shamso Raggie. Rags to Riches Raggie.
Can you just not give out my whole name? Oh my gosh. I don't need people stalking me.
Raggie is how you spell her name. Raggie. Yeah, so what are some of the things that you're looking forward to? Some of the things you want to see and some of the things maybe you're sick of seeing or things you could change?
I am sick of... it breaks my heart. John Cena. All this going back and forth. Are you a wrestler or are you an actor? Are you a TV host or are you a wrestler? And I think the part-timeness is getting on my nerves. And the fact that he comes back and he gets a title shot, like,
immediately.
There's so many people that have worked so hard. Mm-hmm. Dean Ambrose still needs the belt back. I just think SmackDown doesn't have a lot of good talent yet. But I just think John Cena is, because he's the face that pays the bills. And he's going to get whatever title shot he wants. So Cena, I love you, dude, but I'm over you.
It's almost like he's earned the ability to walk into the ring and call a title shot at Royal Rumble.
Exactly. And the fact they did a countdown on how many days it would be before Cena comes back. Like, no one cares.
I see your point on Cena. I can't tell you how many times I've seen him on the Today Show, right?
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live is doing everything but in the ring. He reminds me a lot of post-2000 Rocky Maivia. Heading that route, you know, as The Rock did. Once The Scorpion King was released, he wrote his book, and then all of a sudden you start seeing him in more movie roles and no longer on the full-time roster. And I believe that Cena is moving more toward that part-time role, which, I mean, if the fans' voice means anything, half of them, we love Cena, Cena sucks.
Yeah.
So there's an even split there. Well, it's so funny. I think one of the most popular chants is CM Punk.
I know, because they were in Chicago, and I'm waiting, like, yes, please come out. I miss CM Punk, and I wish that he was the face that was running SmackDown.
And we're not going to see that because of his relationship with Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Stephanie McMahon.
That's gone down the drain.
Yeah, bridges burned there. The Bell of Life, again, always on point there. We're talking about things that we want to see. I remember back in the early 2000s, I don't remember, maybe it was 2002, 2003, when Eric Bischoff was the GM of Raw, and he had the Raw roulette wheel. And so they had all these like crazy matches. There was I believe there was a match between D'Lo Brown and Triple H where they were both blindfolded.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that didn't make sense, but I miss like
spontaneity.
Yeah,
right?
It made sense, but it's just new era stuff. I'm over it. Like, it's too many pay-per-views going on, and you try to keep up with them, and then you can't. Then you miss one, and you lose track of what's going on Raw and SmackDown. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I like Mick Foley.
Yeah, he seems to be not as entertaining as he was.
Sloppy.
Yeah.
He wears jogging pants with a fanny pack.
Well, that's his forte, though.
That's just too much.
You don't like the jogging pants and fanny pack? Well,
why
I'll change that.
That's why he's on the list.
He did make the list of Jericho. Yeah. I think one of the other things that I really don't appreciate about current day WWE storyline is the fact that the titles change hands so prevalently. They used to be like every 12 months you were lucky.
That Sasha Banks and that Charlotte, every other pay-per-view, one will win, the other win. It's just too much. Like, let someone keep the belt for more than 2 weeks. Like, it's just too much.
It tarnishes the shine. For sure.
I can't. I'm sure the people that are changing the names on the titles are like, look, get it together. Let this person keep the title at least a month and then let it change hands.
One thing, if @Shamso84 on Twitter could control the WWE universe, what would that one thing be?
To get rid of John Cena.
Wow, for good?
I mean...
Or make him like an Undertaker once a year kind of guy.
Yeah, because all this going back and forth, like, we need consistency on SmackDown. And right now, we're not getting it. Like, we don't have enough guys as it is on SmackDown. And all this once a month showing up, popping in, popping out. If you're injured, it's one thing. But if you're just going to do Hollywood stuff, then there's really no place for you.
You got to love his contract. His and Brock Lesnar's contracts.
I know.
They just like, actually, I'll come 6 times a year and you'll pay me millions.
I'm going to be like The Undertaker and just show up once a year.
And then avoid the elbow from the top. Yes. I'm not going to let it go.
It's going to take me 20 minutes to get up the ramp. And
it does
I'll
take
turn around. And then I'll give you the eye. And then I'm going to leave.
So there it is. That was Shamso's to get rid of Cena. I would say the one thing, if I could change, make Goldberg a mainstay for at least this year.
No.
Make him a full-time part of, move him to SmackDown and give SmackDown the push that it needs. Because that's them right now. That's the WWE calling me. The writer's room wants the assistance of the Wens, but they're not going to get it because I'm here in Wen's World with @Shamso84. Connect with her on Twitter and connect with me at Wen's World Radio. Till next time.
Happy 2017.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Hey, this is the Deej, the sales energizer. And like you, I'm in Wen's World. It's a frightening place, but we're here. This is what I want you to do. Listen to the show, the whole show. And then when you're done, go to my website, remedysalesmatch.com. Fill out the subscription form for the newsletter, and I will send you a free book that's going to change your life. The Hitchhiker's Guide to Guaranteed Success. Do it after the show.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
This is Eddie Mayfield with EMA. That's EMAINC.net. I'm in Wen's World, and we love it.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls? Start saving thousands in interest and fees and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
This is Dennis Prager, and I am in When's World, and I love it.
This is the Wens, and I rely on
the voice of Atlanta traffic, the only one you need, Chris Monroe.
Hey guys, it's Lacey
and Amber
from Westside Yoga. We're in When's World, and we love it.
A new year is upon us. 2017 is here, and the Wens has some New Year's resolutions, or goals, however you want to put it, of his own. And by him, I mean me, because that's what narcissists do. We talk about ourselves in third person. It's a radio thing. In any case, here we go. First New Year's resolution, to write down 2017 instead of 2016, or type when I'm saving files, because God knows for the first 2 months of every new year, I have the tendency to apply the old year. It's weird. I don't know. Another New Year's resolution that's more practical, I guess, for the long term is to exercise more. And I know a lot of gyms are packed for the first couple weeks of the new year, but I'm too cheap for a gym membership and poor. Besides, I don't go enough to earn my money's worth, and then I feel like I'm ripping myself off, and it becomes this vicious cycle of driving to the gym just to go because I feel guilty if I don't. So I choose to exercise around my neighborhood, in my home, do some calisthenics, and apply a new exercise regimen, and that being 50 push-ups a day. I figure if I do that, that will be a whole lot of push-ups by year's end. So if I did 10 a day, 10 times 365 would be, what, 3,650. So multiply that by 5, and that's over 16,000 push-ups. That's freaking incredible in a year. And plus, it'll help me to lose these man boobs that I have. And it's really difficult during pool season to take your shirt off at the pool with these man boobs, because I think I have bigger boobs than some of the females. And I think they laugh because they're intimidated. I don't think it's because I have man boobs. At least that's what I like to believe about myself. And to help me lose some of these man boobs is to eat better, right? So I love eating salads, but I think I need to apply more lettuce with my dressing, because God knows I love salad dressing. And not even the kind that's good for you. You know, they have the ones where you can spray it on. I pour it on. But what I'll do is I'll get like the low-fat, low-calorie dressing, but I'll end up using half the bottle on each salad, so I'm fooling myself. Also, I need to cut down on some of the crouton intake. Oh, I love croutons, even when they get a little mushy because of the dressing infiltrating inside the nucleus of the crouton itself. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So there it is, just a couple of the exercise and diet ones. Now ones that can fall in the sociological arena. I want to listen better in conversation. Now, this is really hard to do because I always want to practice my response and engage before the other individual's thought is complete. I think they call that pragmatic conversation, where if you say something to me, I'll take the first thing you said, process that, and already be formulating my response and not listening to everything that you have to say. This could be especially dangerous in interpersonal relationships. I've found this to be especially true in marriage, because the whole point is to listen to my spouse and not just, say, yeah, whatever, sure. Because then, if I don't listen, that eventually will come back in future conversations where it'll go something like this. Remember, we just talked about this last week? And then I undoubtedly have to say, of course I remember. Why would I forget anything that you ever have to say? But we all know that we can't remember everything. We're not a freaking hard drive. so we forget. So one of my other resolutions is to listen completely, retain said information, listen, and then respond. And not only respond, but respond out of believing the best of the other person. And this is especially hard to do at work, right? Because sometimes we get talked to by the boss or a coworker, and we think they're trying to check us. But the truth is they're trying to make us better at what we do, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I need to take things less personally, I think, and that's the overall take from that resolution. So we've got diet and exercise down, interpersonal relationships. I want to be a better driver, I think. And that's especially difficult because I live in Atlanta, which is one of the most congested cities in all of the United States of America. Traffic out the wazoo. There's no such thing as a rush hour. It's like always rush hour, right? Sometimes you get the eye of the storm around 11 a.m. or 7 p.m. But even then, there's the inevitable wreck caused by extensive cell phone use or texting and driving, which, by the way, I'm a total hypocrite because I do it too. And I need to stop doing it because it's so freaking deadly. I think they say if you're going 50 miles an hour, you go the length of a football field in 3 seconds. Can you imagine hitting something going that fast because I wasn't paying attention? I don't want to be the douche on the side of the road that caused a massive pileup and affected other people's lives. Especially now that I have a child, I need to start thinking about these things as more important because they are important in all seriousness. I know I joke around a lot, but I need to stop doing that. So that is my goal, to not text and drive. And I've done really well over the last 2 days. So kudos to me. I'll pat myself on the back. I don't know if you heard that. I think you did. So there we go. We have some physical ones, some mental ones. Speaking of mental, I think I want to read more and watch less TV. God knows I love a good TV show, especially Netflix, man. There always seems to be a brand new original series coming out, but I want to read more. I think I'd be a better, more fit member of society with more to offer in conversation and just some solid insight over time if I read more. Also, don't want to play as many video games. There's only 1 or 2 games that I really play, but I definitely want to cut that time by 25% this year, which means that I don't need to play every night, but, you know, maybe every other night or so, and just kind of help myself in that arena. So those are some of my New Year's resolutions, and I'd love to hear some of yours. So if you want to make this show more interactive, feel free to tweet at me at When's World Radio, and of course, you got to tag at KLRN Radio too, and hashtag New Year's resolution, and just give me one of your own. And if you want, I can respond next week during this time, and we can make it a conversation. That'd be a lot of fun. I think that's one thing recorded radio is missing is conversation, because I can't really take calls during this time because it's not live, and it wouldn't make much sense. So there it is, at When's World Radio's New Year's resolution. By far not an exhaustive list, just some things that I came up with along the way in the last few weeks.
Hey guys, I'm Margaret Schwenke. I'm an Atlanta eating psychology counselor, and I'm up in When's World, and I love it here. So if y'all need help figuring out why you're eating what you're eating and how not to eat what you don't want to eat, give me a ring. I can be found at margaretschwenke.com. Eating Psychology Counseling.
SCHWENKE.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.